Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hope you're keeping well out there. Let's just fix this little fella here. There we go. That's a bit better. How are we all doing? Norman Donny's here. Good evening, Norman. Yeah. We were born is here as well. Underscore, I'm sure, is hiding somewhere. We've Andy da as well. Television royalty. Just bear with me here while I get myself set up. Do. Just get the old live up on the. There we go. We're flying. Rob's radio channel is here. Kevy B is here. Good evening, Kev. Didn't get them multimeters after you. Yeah, will do. There's no panic at my end anyway, but just get around to boxing them up this week. Patrick Bourne is here. Johnny B. Good evening, Johnny B. White Sapphire is here as well. The Crackle is here. Lots of TV royalty here tonight. Does the horizontal linearity look a bit off? I haven't done that until it yet. Only switch it on. Oh, I changed the fusing. So it has yet to get attention. So, yeah, there's quite a few things a bit off about it. Norman Donnelly say in the video, was off to bed the other night at 3 and saw you had the video of the GC. Got to bed just before 4. Great stuff, Norman. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a beer o'clock. We're having one or two. We're not going mad because we have a big day tomorrow too. Lots of action and stuff. How are you keeping? We are keeping well here, Rob. We hope you're keeping well too. Do hit the thumbs up button. Around the mountain, you come down to your gaff at that spanner. And you'd be very unfriendly. Yeah, the GEC video has certainly proved to be a popular little video, as I had a feeling it would. Cheers, everyone. Yes, indeed. Let me just actually set the live stream chat to live chat instead of top chat. So far tonight, we have in the gaff on the channel participating Audio Wal, Patrick Bourne, Andy Doswell, R52, Johnny B, Kev B, Norman Donny, Ray Bourne, Rob's radio channel, Mr. Roundy Mooney, The Crackle, and White Sapphire. 24 viewing, 12 thumbs up, and we're off to a fairly good start here on this Sunday evening. I hope your weekend was nice and relaxing, and yes, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me here this evening. So, I got the GEC up on the bench. I finally got a video out during the week, which was a long time coming. So, this GEC, as any of you will have seen the video, will know the story behind it. Interesting set. It was really only bought as a parts owner. But as we can clearly see from the condition of the cabinet, CRT, etc., we won't be breaking this one up. The only problem is with it, it's missing its spindly legs, but a friend of mine is going to turn them out on a lathe. And the sockets are in place, so it's okay. And we're missing 2 brights out of knobs, which another friend of mine is going to spin out on a lathe for me over a bit of aluminium bar. So it's all going to work out quite well. Getting around to working on the chassis now is going to be another issue. there's quite a few R's and C's I want to be replaced to get the linearity sorted. The video definition isn't great either. I don't know if the high frequency choke might be open circuit. Don't think it's that bad for that, because you do really notice when they go open circuit, but there's something not quite right with the video end of it. Now, it could be just the output valve itself, but we'll see. But it's certainly worth doing, and I think it's going to be a very nice set when it's done. These GECs, I'm very impressed with them. The few of them that I have had through here have been excellent, and they seem to be a bulletproof television. And dare I say, could nearly give the old A640 a run for its money. Nearly. They're certainly on a par anyway. I think reliability-wise, though, the GEC might have the edge. Tons of gain, too. So, what to discuss tonight? Apparently, there's a storm on the way. Storm Deborah or something. So we have that to look forward to. It's a lovely, calm, still evening here. About 8 degrees outside at the minute. Much milder than it was last night. It was 2 degrees last night. Let me catch up with the chat. We have Steve M here. Good evening, sir. What have you done to your finger? I will not answer any questions regarding my finger, other than to say that it looks worse than it is. I just got a little scratch. I have a sock on it to stop the plaster coming off. I am getting a decent, good Cork man, 3D printer for Christmas, I'm told. Will never be stuck for a knob or a button again. 3D printing, I believe, the printers have really come on the last couple of years, and they're cheap enough now too, compared to what they were when they first came out. So that should be quite exciting for you, Rowney. Wish you the best of luck with that. Might be something I'll get involved with in the future. Although a friend of mine is talking about getting one, so I might leave it to him. Those GCs were a nightmare back in the day, says Ian Deacon. I believe the system switches caused an awful lot of problems on them, alright. And a lot of them ended up hardwired for 625, soldered up. This one has not been soldered up, and I haven't tried it on 405 yet, but we'll get around to that at some stage. Dennis is here as well. Mike 1, Delta Lima Golf. Good evening, sir. I will take requests, JJ. I'll be careful now. You could be getting yourself into trouble. Rob's Radio Chan says, I just hit the thumbs up there now. I hope I won't be timed out. I don't think so. Indeed. It's a learning curve, yeah. I remember when the first came out. Well, not when the first came out, but 5 or 6 years ago, I knew a chap that got one, and he used to set it up at night and leave it going all night. And when he'd come back in the morning, he'd have one or two things. He'd either have whatever he wanted to print, or he'd just have a big mess of thread everywhere. So yeah, interesting. He was printing little bits and pieces for BMWs. Dawes says, my 3D printer is currently broken. Got a bit of filament stuck in it somewhere. I believe they can be tricky, alright. Jennifer Moynihan is here. Good evening. Hello. Is it a UK import? Just wondering, as the cable system in the UK used letters as the dial on the front had letters. So that's an interesting point you raise, because we were looking at this in the video, and obviously in Ireland they use letters. 625 system I uses letters for the channel numbering on VHF. So I thought that it was an Irish set, but it doesn't have the cams installed for switching it to 625 VHF. So that's an interesting point. Perhaps it is a UK import. We don't know. There's stickers missing off the back of it. I have a feeling it's quite a late one. When I get into it, I'll get the date off the main smoothing cap, if there's one there, and we'll see what year it stems from. But I have a feeling it's a pretty late production set. What with the oddball valves and stuff. The underscore is here as well. That's a nice bit of 405. It is, but it's actually running on 625. But we won't say on. Let's see who else we have here. Of course, Mr. Dranfield is here. More TV royalty. We have a few members of the TV brigade here this evening. Do I have any 0891s or similar? Inquires Kev B. I'm sure I have, Kev. Yeah. Do you need a couple? I'll bang them in the package with the multimeters when I'm sending them over to you. I have a few CV type, but nice gold bonded ones, which I can bang a few into you if you're interested. Germanium diodes. We have a little box here with germanium diodes of all descriptions. Oh, and a BR100. That shouldn't be in there. But, yeah, we'll dig out a few tasty ones for you. Is it for anything in particular? I can route out ones with a very low forward voltage. Sort out a few for you if you like. We've all sorts of little oddball ones, yeah. But, yep, so I might even have a specific OA91 if I look. But I can certainly send you something suitable anyway. Some real old ones here from the 50s. Let's see if we can get a look at this one. Oh, and this one. AC rectifiers on an Evo 8. Ah, okay, right. I'll match 2 on the multimeter for you and send them over. Well, I'll send you 4. In case you want to focus, will it? There's a real old British Thompson Houston one. Oh, it's terrible when I won't focus. Focus! Sometimes it plays ball and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, nice BTH one. This is a really big one with no markings on it at all. Yeah, we have some oddball ones from the early days. We wouldn't use them now. They're oddities to have. Drop on silicones was too much, yeah. Yeah, no, we'll dig out some nice ones for you, so Kevin, we'll send them over to you, alright? No panic. I found that quicker. Yeah, but I don't have as many little drawers as you have, Michael. Yeah, we'll send that off to you, Kevy. No bother at all. Alan Hurst is here too. Good evening, Alan. Yeah, I know that feeling, Kev. Chaos. You inquired, was the television there as a prop to hold all the shite? I can confirm your suspicion is correct. Oh, not bad, is it? Considering I haven't replaced anything in it yet. I'll just let it run there for an hour. We'll see how it goes. But it's going quite well so far. I get the feeling it could be a low hour set. Yeah, it looks nice and steady. Yeah, when we get the old, there's a lot of resistors around the line hold and frame hold gone way out. Sort of, as you can see, the line hold, the height isn't great. I think that's maxed out. It's all resistors. Those crappy carbon composition resistors with the little metal end caps on them, absolutely useless. If you're really pushed, you could probably throw out every one of them. The Thorn 3500 was full of them on the video board, and it was only when I replaced a whole lot of them that it worked well. A grand honest telly. We have a real nice one to do a video on, but that's going to be well, it's going to be soon enough. I have a feeling I have a spare line output transformer for one of these somewhere. The one that I've got, it was given at the MVCF by a friend of ours called David. Good evening, David, if you are watching. I know you do tune in sometimes. Which is a very nice television, but the line output transformer was gone, and it wasn't really his cup of tea. He's more of a dual standard colour man. So he very graciously told me to put it in the van and take it with me, which we did. So we want to get that going and see what the crack is with that, because it's a very nice condition television. Yeah, I only have 1,000 of the stock that Michael has. That's very true. I know you haven't seen what's in his loft yet either. He wouldn't let me up there. I reckon he's got treasure up there. I reckon the ceiling is going to come in on top of him someday in that workshop of his. Do hit the thumbs up button if you are enjoying the live stream. Yes, indeed. Should we do a poll? Everyone loves a poll on the Hodge Nodge channel. I'll start off simple. There, did you see the latest video on the television? The chipmunk is here. Paul, should Chipmunk show up early? Chipmunk's in plenty of time. We're only on a couple of minutes. You didn't miss anything too spectacular yet? Oh no, Kev B's had a bit of bother. Just not just the loft, at home too, says Michael. Never miss one, says Far 64. See who else we've got. Wonderful. We have 30 people watching now, which is not bad at all for a Sunday evening. We're doing quite well. I see Bar are closing down all their AM transmitters in Scotland and Northern Ireland at the end of the year. This business is getting out of hand. This business of these people closing down all these transmitters is getting out of hand. There'll be nothing left. What have they got in Northern Ireland? I think, well, I don't think gold is up there. Someone give me a list of what Bar are doing in Northern Ireland. The band will be dead soon. No, it won't, Roundy. We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back. Picked up a new sealed racing wheel the other night for half price, so needed a stand. Found one on Marketplace, went to Bolton to pick it up. It was complete, but not the one on the advert. Yeah. Didn't check it until I got home. My own fault. Sure, look, these things happen, Kev. We've all been there, one stage or another. Yes. Right. The poll is coming to an end. Those of you who have not voted and wish to do so should do so now. So concludes the poll. 84% of people have seen the video. 15% of people have not had a chance to see the video just yet. Chipmunk, 990 Doncaster, South Yorkshire was Hallam. 1035 Air Prestwick was West Sound AM, and Inverness Highland was MFR. Chipmunk also says 1152 Newcastle Sunderland County Durham Metro GNR. 1152 Glasgow was Radio Clyde. Radio Clyde. 1161 Dundee and was Tay. 1305 Barnsley was Hallam. 1548 Edinburgh, Lothians and South Fife. 1548 Sheffield, South Yorkshire was Hallam. 1548 from Perth and Kinross. I would have thought that AM would still be viable in the likes of Scotland. Mr. Dozzle says anything north of 1500 works for me. There is a chap on YouTube. He made a couple of videos, and I'm very sorry he didn't make more. I'm going to ask Rowney to put a link to him if he can do that for me. And he calls himself John Stretch, or Stretchy Man. And he makes these very small, very efficient Class E AM transmitters. And he sells these. He used to sell them on eBay, but he stopped using eBay. You have to email him now. And these things are the size of, about the size of a Fluke multimeter or whatever. Right? They're not very big. And they can do about 50 watts, which is incredible. I don't know if anyone. John Stretch is your man's name. Can you, if you can find him, Roundy? But it's a pity he didn't make more videos and stuff. He was on a couple of the forums. That's him, Stretchy Man. Yeah. I think he was sick of the. Yeah, I think he did get into trouble on eBay over something or other. Apparently, his transmitters are very good. So much to the point now that he actually gets a lot of orders from America, from actual commercial radio stations wanting small backup transmitters. He started off making them just for the pirate community, 48 meters and a bit of high-end medium wave stuff. But he's actually selling a lot of them to the UK now, or to the US now, which is interesting. So it could be something for people to look into as a plug and play option. There's no point going part 15. This 100 milliwatts rubbish. If you're gonna do it right, 50 watts into a 40 or 50 foot vertical, with a nice bit of a top hat, capacitance loading, could go quite far. I think if a few of us started doing that, it would keep the band alive and make it interesting too. Bit of medium wave DX and all between ourselves, just like the Pirates do in Holland, just on the top of the medium wave band, where they even talk to one another and all sorts, and it's great crack. Yeah, so Conscious, I'm thinking about converting all my AM radios, putting FM inside them. Oh, I wouldn't do that, Rob. Well, you can do what you want with your radios. It's your own business, but I had hoped that, and I've said this loads of times here in the live stream, you're probably sick of me saying it. I had hoped that Ireland and the UK would follow the Dutch model and give out low power AM licenses. But it won't happen, and I'll tell you the reason why it won't happen. It's not for any reason other than they simply would not want to be dealing with the bureaucracy of it, having to have someone there dealing with applications and then dealing with complaints and all the bits and pieces that go with it. So the AM band is just going to be abandoned. And therefore, if you want a party on, party on. They don't care what goes on there now anyway. Here in the Republic, we have no commercial broadcasting on medium wave anymore. So there's nothing for them to protect. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Of course, Roundy Mooney's going to be busy with this storm, Debbie. Hope you don't. There isn't too many lines down around Cork. Yeah, have a look at this stretchy man fella. Anyway, anyone who's interested, I'll just pin that for now so people can see it. eBay, yeah, no point getting into it. eBay is a bit crap. Yeah. I got as far as going to set up an eBay thing once and I just gave up. Don't worry about your spelling. We all know what you mean, Dennis. There's no panic. We're not spelling Nazis here. If they're switching off AM, what to listen to then? Well, yeah, fair enough, but like that, build a little transmitter, Rob. And well, just for the handiness sake, even for yourself, if you aren't interested in broadcasting a large form, a little small transmitter, and just transmit your FM stations on medium wave. Because if you go interfering with the radios like that, it's not simple. What are you going to do? Take the chassis out of them and put in FM chassis and stuff? That's messy, As I say, they're your radios. You can do what you like with them. Cork will probably be okay, but we'll be sending crews north. Shame that they're switching off AM. It is, but there'll always be a little bit of AM around. I mean, Radio Caroline's going to be around. I think Manx Radio are going to be knocking around for a couple of years. Downtown up the north is still on AM. They are for now. There is an FM to AM converter available. The name escapes me. Oh, no, the yoke you're talking about around yet. I was in the middle of a huge power cut the other day. Part of SUNdays 11 fell apart on Thursday. A public lock. How real that is not nice. Johnny B, have to go. Night all. AM phase lock loop oscillator ready for you next time you are passing the office. Oh, good man, John. Thank you. We'll see you then. Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll talk on Thursday, I think. If you're going to be there. Can I tell them who you are, Johnny, or will we keep it a secret? Johnny's a big deal. For anyone who doesn't know. Rob's radio channel. I leave them alone then. I would, yeah. Yes, by all means. Johnny was the broadcast engineer in Atlantic 252 for 11 years. He could tell you some stories about things going on fire and blowing up and stuff. And there you are. We've more royalty here. You see, you wouldn't know who's watching here. Dennis says you could use SDR logic, a very broadband TX, and at random intervals push an web radio station to a spot frequency, 1 TX multiple stations. You can do this now. The hardware is cheap enough. That's interesting. Bro Madam was here as well. Good evening, sir. We'll pin that link now. And you wanted to see John Stretch's YouTube channel, will have seen them. And he does well. There you go. See, everyone knows everyone else. I wonder, does he? Ah, yes, the David Winters FM converter. Yes, I read about that. Vintage Electronic Repair. Andy. All the Andys are here tonight. Good evening, Andy. I hope you're keeping well. Hiya, Joe. Hope you're okay, mate. Yeah, all is good here. Andy, regards to yourself and your regards to Chris as well. And Steve. $34 watching, 27 thumbs up. All very interesting stuff. Let's do a poll for the crack. I like to get your thoughts on things, you know. This is one that crosses my mind regularly enough, and it's about people who watch my live streams and people who watch my videos, and I don't think the two always meet in the middle. So, a question for you. There you go, another poll for you. Where are we? Catch up with the live chat. Audience interaction is always good. Kev B says, I saw Megger's test bay where they commission and test their cable test fans. Some scary looking stuff in there. Faraday cage built into the structure of the building. Ooh. Chipmunk says he has no claim to fame in TV radio other than the fact he grew up within walking distance of Southern TV. $33 watching with 35 viewers with 33 thumbs up. Oh, yes. They haven't met the quota yet. They still have 3 large dishes on the side, waiting to be stolen, of course. 5 minutes walk from Meridian. Wonder would the dishes be any use now for anything interesting. Both. This is what I do instead of TV. Very good, Roundy. Roundy's going to get an extra blue spanner now if he keeps that up. APRS grinder for hams. Ugh. What? The high voltage test labs in uni where Southampton University were fun too. They made lightning. Fun. No one should say none. If you're watching now, you're watching live. You see, it's a trick question there, Dennis. Get you every time. Blue socks. Peter Paul, love the videos and the live stream. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you. We make lightning too, often accidentally. Southern TV poked up the ITC by overrunning their close down by half an hour when they lost the contract. All that kind of stuff is finished now, isn't it? I mean, is there any it's all just ITV now, isn't it? Are they still, like, I think they're all just, everything's just the one kettle of piss now. If you're going to vote, vote now. Or forever hold your peace. Voting ends. Now, I should say that the 3% who voted for none was myself. For the crack. Mick Price, good evening, Mick. I love the old CRT telly so much. I've now kicked my flat screen TV to the bedroom and got a 20-inch Toshiba CRT as my main TV in the room. A proper retro feel of the 1980s. Good man, Mick. Whoomp, 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 whoomp. Around you can hear the diesel heater on the... you can hear the diesel heater in the background, thumping away, keeping me almost warm. Almost. I'm a bit of a rebel. Well, maybe. Oh, John, just Google BBC Radio Scotland is switching off by 2025. Arseholes. Does anyone watch actual TV? The last thing I do, rarely. Actually, I'm going to be quite honest with you. Lately, I've been watching very old episodes of The Bill on YouTube. The early ones are really good. Before it turned into, EastEnders with coppers, the early ones were very good. They were, short, concluded in one episode, like the Sweeney or whatever. And so I've been watching quite a bit of that. Michael Dramfield says you can't beat CRT, absolutely. Most telly is shy, says Mr. Mooney. If I want to watch something, I stream it. Live TV is only fit for sports and news now. I'm not too much of the latter now because it's all lies and shit. Dennis says the small team at the channel was the only ones not to strike when all the others went off air. They were running TV at times for all regions through various feeds and links. Just come in and there's a cold wind blowing in off the Irish Sea. Nice and fresh, yes. As Roundy Mooney says, if he didn't have that heater, I doubt he'd be able to stream. It's quite cold at the minute, indeed, if I didn't have that on. And the electric heater's just, it's too expensive to be running now, to be quite honest. So we haven't switched it on this year at all, so we're on the diesel heater. It's a bit cheaper. Dennis says he doesn't watch the television, but if he did, Talking Pictures would be the one for him, and did. Chipmunk says it's a great sadness to me that terrestrial TV is going the way of the dodo, but like people say, most of the stuff, there's nothing to watch on it anyway. I don't watch TV. Oh, Andy Doswell. Thank you very much, sir. That's going to be... That, sir, is going to be... that's going to be a gallon of diesel to keep me warm. Thank you very much, Andy. I always appreciate it. I don't watch TV. No, I read that. Sorry. Dixon of Dock Green. Yeah, I'm going to start watching that next. Watching London's Burning. I'm saving that for when I'm finished with The Bill. But there's things that I've never watched. And the reason why is because I'm saving them for the future. Because I know they're never going to make anything in the future that I'm going to be interested in watching. So. Like, I never watched MASH. Well, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes, and I know I'm going to like it when I do watch it. But I'm saving it. It's weird, isn't it? Mick Price says, even though I'm in Liverpool, I used to listen to RTE on the old Bush battery radio until it was taken off earlier this year. Better than the English radio on FM. Aye. Vintage Steve of the Vintage Electronics Long Stay Workshop is here. Hi, Odge. Hi, Steve. Hope you're keeping well. Hope you're keeping tabs on that Andy fella. Andy was floating around here a while ago. Floating. Ratings are a fraction of what they used to be. I'd imagine that. Chipmunks, after giving me a litre of diesel. Good man, Chipmunk. Thank you. That £2, right? YouTube will give me £1.20 out of that. So that will be maybe €1.50, which would be, I think, a litre of green diesel at the minute is around 90, maybe €1, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be a litre or so of diesel. I need to do a price comparison on the diesel heater versus the electric heater. Well, I now pay 40 cents a kilowatt hour at the minute. So 2 kilowatts blowing out of that thing is, well, actually 3 kilowatts. It's 3 kilowatt blow here. That's 120 an hour. So I think the diesel heater might be doing 200 milliliters an hour or something like that. So it's going to be working out at about 20 cents an hour. Just ticking over. It's on low now. It's just ticking over. So I'll put a blast it when I first start it up, and then the place gets warm, then I'll just leave it ticking over on a slow setting. Because it makes some noise when you turn it up now, as you know. It starts to sound like a Pratt & Whitney JT3 when you have her up all the way. Andy Doswell says, well, now YouTube are paying me. Projected income is currently 38 pence. Well, I'm glad you got sorted out with the payments and all that, but I can tell you from experience, and anyone else here that's YouTube for the last couple of years will tell you that YouTube are paying you an awful lot less for your videos than they would have done even 2 years ago, even last year. But it's just the way it's going. YouTube is a hard one to call. But fair play to you, Daz, and keep it going. Gallon, I don't know. I haven't worked it out yet, but it seems to be lasting, a couple of evenings. MASH is excellent. Yeah, the couple of episodes I have seen were pretty good, so I'm saving that. On the buses, yeah, I used to watch. I've probably seen all those. Endeavour was a good series as well. Yeah, I watched a couple of those, and I liked Morse as well. But I've only seen a couple of them. I never got the time to sit down and watch one, because I think they're an hour and a half long, aren't they? Something like that. Really well done. John Thaw was an excellent actor. Oh, Steve got the radio. Good man, Steve. Dead on. I'm glad you got it. Let me see. Who did I give it to? I gave it to Mike Barker back at the MVCF. Mike Barker is a man of his word. I went up to him and I says, are you going to the golf horn in October? And he says, I am. I says, would you do me a favour? Would you give that to Steve? And he said he would, so he did. He's a gentleman. Good stuff. We'll be looking forward to seeing a video on that now, Steve. But I'm glad you got it. That's great news. I'd nearly forgotten about that. Would I want a carbon monoxide alarm with one of those? Not really, Roundy, because the exhaust, it's a sealed unit, so the exhaust doesn't come in anywhere near you. It works on a heat exchange principle with hot air. So it's the same as one that'll be in a caravan or a truck. It's a Webasto. It's actually a Chinese copy of the original Webasto. That's what it is when you get into it. And I have a long exhaust pipe on it going down the shed, so it blows away, so it doesn't get the opportunity to suck the fumes back in. You know, so it's not like a super ser or a Paradlaw or one of them where the fumes are actually coming in on top of you. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either. We had one in the house when I was a kid, and when I was about 12, I copped on what it was doing to us, and I grabbed it by both handles and I smashed it out in the yard. Horrid fucking things. Actually, the heater is outside. It's just the hot air pipe that's coming into the shed. It's actually the whole shooting match is outside. Now, the thing to do, you know, if you had the space or whatever, would be to have it inside and then run the exhaust down the inside of the shed as well and out, so you get the heat off the pipe too. That's what most people doing. The likes of garages and that. But it's good enough here the way it is. Tommy Hannon's here. He does. It's called. I can't recall what it's called now. Actually, I'd have to look it up. It's some sort of Chinese thing. It was about 120 quid at the time. What's the yellow thing on the top shelf? You see anything yellow and shaped like a multimeter, Kev gets very excited about. It's it's a little fine sat. It's for doing aerials, so it does free view and free sat, and it has a little spectrum. There's a little spectrum analyzer and all sorts. It's a handy little bit of kit. Will she focus in on that for you so you can have a look at it? See if the camera sees that in the background that stays focused on that, you have to go right in, and then it might. Anyway, that's what that is. Handy enough. I've only used it once, yeah. It's actually not mine. It belongs to my father-in-law. Back to the chat. Who's your favourite YouTube TV repair? Ooh. Paul Carlton. I don't. Yeah. What? I don't think Carlton has ever done a television, has he? I remember RTE re-showed how in 1988. In 1988, when they came to the very last episode, they mentioned going into the 80s. Yeah. RTE have no progress to showing repeats of the repeats. Yeah. To be fair, in Gosport, you usually aim the aerial with binoculars. The rock mass is visible on most rooftops. Ah, that's handy. Kev B thought it was something else. There you go, Kev. Every day is school day. Fight to the death, yeah. In Australia, the Curiosity Show was a close equivalent of hell. Do I have any images of the old RTE test cards? I'm afraid I don't. Alan? I recently seen a video by EEV blog, Dave Jones, on a Metrics MX44 multimeter. Did anyone see that? I'm sorry I gave my one away now. Absolutely super multimeter it was too. Andy Doswell's away to his labber. Right, folks, early start from me. I'll catch you up what I've missed on the repeats. Good night. Good night, Andy. Take care, and we'll see you soon. All being well, we'll see you next Sunday. Audio well. Night, Dawes. Good night, Andy. Good night, Andy. Thanks for calling in. Super stuff. RTE will be repeating this in 2033. Probably will, yeah. The only yellow Michael can see is cans. Good man, Michael. Yeah, saw that. Weirdly had an MX57 in last week. First one in a long while. Never seen one of them. How old are they? Anyway, yeah, the MX44, nice meter. No screws. Well, I went to a good home anyway, so I can't complain. Tell you what I've been using lately. I don't have it here. It didn't work, but a Fluke 10. Very small little meter. Early 90s. Super fast. Really good meter. I wonder did Kev B ever come across one of those. Mind you, not the worst. Virgin Media showed a 1970 edition of Sunday Night at the Palladium with the ATV logo. Not too long ago. Same range, just the top model. I see. Thing to check on them is the foam pad in the battery compartment goes conductive. Just spin it. Very good. Are we losing height on the old GEC there? The height seems to have crept down a bit. Yeah, I'd say the resistors around the height control are probably changing value as they heat up or something like that. Maybe HT's dropping a bit. No, it's not. HT's looking good. Or the valve, or it could be 101 different things. Height control could even be changing value. Who knows? Oh, just wondering, has anyone seen an advertisement of any description whilst watching the live stream tonight? You shouldn't. Audiowal says, I hear Fair City could be axed to save on money. Oh, just axe RTA. Lose RTE 2, lose 2FM. Keep lyric, like Marty Wheeler. And yeah. No ads. Nobody has seen ads. Good, because the video was not the live stream, should I say, is not monetized, so you should not see ads. That's good. Yeah, I agree with you, Roundy. On sell Montrose, once they find a warehouse in Ballymount like TV3 there, yep. That's right, it's Diwali today, yeah. Jennifer, love Bullseye, especially the prize board. Some of the stuff. Brilliant. Oh, do you know, I've been looking at HD radios online. HD radios? Well, they need to look at more presenter pay cuts. It's not just the presenters, though. It's all the other arseholes that are hanging around as well. You can only imagine how top-heavy RTA is when you get into the minutiae of it. Like the poor gobber, the technicians or the cleaners and the normal heads that are in RTA, I don't think they're doing too well at all. I think they're treated like crap. And I'd say there's an awful load of, diversity officers and accessibility officers and managers and all this kind of shit in there that are sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Andy Crowley says, keep up the great work. Thank you. Rowdy Benny I was at a film festival last night. The daughter was one of the cast. Fair play to her. The talent in Ireland with producers, actors, directors, etc. Yes, I'd agree with that. I've worked with a couple of them over the years. I have done a small bit of film work with televisions and stuff over the years. It's always very interesting to be on set. This makes me laugh. A pirate station can get as many listeners sometimes or more than the local big station in some regions. They might have a budget of 50 quid and still do better than the BBC could. Absolutely. Where can I get an old Valve Colour TV set? OGC. Nothing down the northwest of England. Nothing in the northwest. All down south. GC. I don't know. And the likes of RTE, like the FAI, are so consumed by greed that these young talented people can't even get a platform. I'm incensed by it. Indeed, I agree with you, Roundy, 100%. It's typical, and of course, all the cream comes to the top, gets on a boat or a plane, and gets out of here. So there's so many Irish on British television. Driver Film Shortwave has joined the chat. Good evening, sir. How are you? Hope you're keeping well out there. Look at what you could have won. And it's a speedboat, and they live in a tower block in the middle of Manchester. Anyone says, I see Tuberty slot on RTE has gone up. Tuberty slot has gone up 13,000. And he's not even there. Well, what does that tell you? Overpaid. I don't know. Yeah, all this talent that he was supposed to have had. Bretsky is where? Good evening, sir. Mick Price says, don't look at Michael for on TV. Find the Daysha Colour TV made by Casey Electronics in Dungarvan. Never heard of it. Sounds interesting. I'd say there's some chance of getting my hands on one of those. I can get some 70 Sony sets though, but no Valve stuff. Let's see. Roundy has the speedboat. Yeah, Roundy got the speedboat. He'd need it down in Cork. Lived in Birmingham for 15 years. Never changed my username. Been in Lancs for 7 years. There was a murderer. There was a murderer once as a contestant on Bullseye. Once that they know of, yeah, exactly. I'm sure there was plenty of them. The game show killer. Yes, they caught him because of the episode. What? They had to do a lot of fancy editing after that one. Facebook owner Mia and Google's YouTube now face criminal complaints in Ireland for alleged unlawful surveillance of EU citizens via tracking scripts. Sounds interesting, Chipmunk. Taggart. There's another good series. Jerry BVR is here. Good evening, sir. Red warning for you, JJ. Just updated on met.ie. Yeah. We shall have to climb into the Odgenodge bunker. It's going to be fun. And it's as calm as that in here at the minute. You can see the stars outside, yeah. Lovely clear night. Interesting. Right. I'll ask you as instead for the change. What would you like me to do a poll on? Someone suggest a poll, and I will put it up. It's raining with Norman Donny's place. Ooh. Yeah, it was a lovely day, alright. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Sheep drowned in the morning. Global warming. It's not global warming anymore, Chipmunk. It's climate change. Don't say global warming anymore. A poll on what to do a poll on. John Cooper was the chap's name. On Bullseye, May 89, he wasn't any good at darts, apparently. What's your favourite test card? There's a poll, yeah. No one's going to eat Walker's Christmas pudding crisps. That's not even a thing. Right, we'll do that, right? Do. There you go. Oh, ooh, interesting poll this. Test card W. Okay, we'll throw that one into the mix. Put you down for W. That's the widescreen. F. Underscore has made a couple of very good Odge Nodge test cards, by the way. He has indeed. Mick Kenwood. Good evening, Mick. Nick Kenwood. PM5544, it is technically most useful and most nostalgic. Mick Kenwood says 554 takes him back to childhood in South Africa. Indeed, the French had HD before anyone, that's right. Okay, we have 17 votes. Anyone else want to vote in this test card? Poll. Vote now. Voting ends. Looks like F has it, but yeah, quite close. Indeed, Chipmunk. People are not participating. Dennis is having a bit of issue with latency tonight. Oh, there. It's just gone 30 minutes. 9. That is 21:30 hours. BBC Two test card is the best of that bunch. Oh, that is strange, Dennis. I'm familiar with test cards. Just picked a random one. That's quite alright. Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. It was like a PM5544 kind of, but it had no circle. It was just squares. I don't know what it was called though, but yeah. That's right, Kev. I only know that because I seen it on YouTube the other day. Brought back a few memories. I can just about remember the test cards on a Sunday morning. RTE used to show the 5544 and used to play audio from, RTE1 they used to play Radio 1, and RTE2 or Network 2 as it was then for a while used to play audio from 2FM. Yeah. Channel 4 did have great idents. Channel 4 were very cutting edge when they come out. Don't know how cutting edge they are now, but they were back in the day very good. Yeah. Bounty remembers before they even did that. Yeah. No, vague memories before that, but not really. I think that went on until, 99 or 2000. They are just on one side of the political divide now. It appears to be the case, alright. RTE had a stock music tape for years. Oh, yeah. I wonder did they have a cantata player then, like I did here a while ago, which came from a cable TV company. Yeah, they certainly pushed the envelope out there, alright. They were way out there in Channel 4. John, you got a new subscriber. Could you give a shout out to my grandson, Harley Joseph? Good evening, Harley Joseph. I hope you're keeping well out there. And keep your granddad under wraps. And you'll have to start bringing him into the shop with you, Michael. Teach him the trade. So good evening, Harvey. Hope you're keeping well out there. Good to have you on board. Channel 4 and its Red Triangle films were interesting, so I'm told. I have Radio China instead. Oh, that's quite right, yeah. He better grow up with a love for American bikes. RTE newcomers ads on random Tuesday afternoons. It's worth looking for a channel called Adam Martin. We've seen that channel. I don't know if I shared it here or not, but yeah, he's made some interesting videos. The one on 405 lines was controversial because it wasn't quite technically correct in places. But I think, you know, he's highlighting the whole thing, which is overall very good. Perhaps Mr. Mooney could put a link up to the Adam Martin YouTube channel for me if he gets a chance. Hardy says, Hardy Longdon, thank you for the shout out. No bother, sir. Good to have you aboard. I watch Adam Dennis. He's good lad. He 30 miles down the road from me. Says Bretsky. We need 252 from Tunisia during the intermission. Nick Kenwood says the North Korea's KCBS test card is quite colourful. Must have a look for that. Tuesday newcomers on ITV. Find me a YouTube channel that doesn't make mistakes. I mean, if I had a quid for every time Simon Whistler made a mistake, I'd be able to retire in a week. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know why people have to be so mean and nasty. You know, as the overall intent is good. What more do you want? Indeed, Dennis. No, I wish Adam Martin all the best, and I left that note in a comment or words to that effect. Yeah, we'll pin Adam Martin's channel there. If this bloody thing with the, I can't get to it there to pin it because the do for right now. Pin that. Pin. Right, people can subscribe to Adam Martin if they like, or please go and have a look at what he does. The man who never made a mistake, never made anything. Yeah, quite correct, Jerry. All depends on the audience. I have to say, overall, I don't have any real issues. I did for a while, a couple of years ago, already, and I've had one or two, but nothing lately. And overall, the YouTube experience has been quite good. I only had to, I think I've had to ban 2 people from the live streams here over the years, just because they were getting out of hand or whatever. But no, overall, it's been a very good experience. I know some people have horror stories of YouTube, so it's interesting. You know, you don't know if you don't try. For fans of television magazine, the 80s and 90s, Roger Bunny is still around, retired, but still living in Romsey. Wonderful. Now tell me this, is he still interested in DXTV, or what is he doing these days? And what sort of age would he be now? He must be a good age. But we wish Roger Bunny every happiness and well and good health, gentlemen. Chipmunk went into a bit of a stalker mode. Erla Honor, ahoy there. Erla Honor, good to have you aboard and welcome into the chat. Indeed, yeah, no, Roger Bunny, Fair play. He took over when another gentleman died. Raphael was your man's name. He used to do the DXTV column on Practical Television. I think Roger Bunny took that over, in 68 or 69, something like that, way back. And he used to write in before that. He was a regular contributor to the, you're going back to the early 60s with him, at least. Last time I spoke to Steve Beeching, he was printing T-shirts for a living. Jesus, it's amazing, isn't it? You wonder where all these characters ended up, because there would have been, they weren't all in their 90s or whatever. There would have been lads around Michael's age with plenty of life left in them. Where did they go when the TV magazine folded? And I think a lot of them ended up being bus drivers and taxi men and all sorts of stuff, We've had debates here from time to time, but all in good spirit. Yeah, absolutely. Wetlock TVDX said, I haven't heard from him in a good few years now. He was trying to move to the Isle of Man, but couldn't get a house. Dave Rhodes is here. Good evening, Dave. Dave Rhodes says he's a bit late to the poll, but I think F would have been his choice. Fair enough. We'll put you in the bag there. Very few magazines been sold as right. I've been into Eason's a couple of times, and no sign of any Practical Wireless magazines. So I don't know if they just order them in now, or do you have to get them as a special order in? They don't seem to just have them on the shelf. Brutal, anyway. I like finding out folks I know are still going. Julian Eilert of YouTube fame used to do circus in one of the electronics magazines. I read a lot, but I only ever buy a book now if I'm travelling by myself somewhere. Oh, Gossip Mags, as Chipmunk says. Crap, yeah. Bumped into the engineer I did Saturdays for a few years ago, stacking shelves in Sainsbury's. Happier and earning more than when he had the shop. Well, that sums it up all. That sums up all, Kev, doesn't it? Very true. Ray Bourne says there's no electronics mags in Easton's anymore. No, doesn't appear to be. There was up until a couple of years ago, but not anymore. Round there's always a Practical Wireless if you want to make it. Soldering jig. Don't. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. I think I burned that edition of Practical Wireless, actually. It's gone now. It used to annoy me so much. I think I have to set fire to it. All those pulp magazines, most only be bought by our ones now. It's a dying industry. I'd imagine so, yeah. Julian loves to troll by pretending he doesn't know electronics. We need a good electronics mags again. Yeah, but I don't think enough people will buy it. Yeah. Victor Rizzo. That was the chap from... Was he Spanish or Italian? And he used to write into television with all sorts of weird little things. Weird little ideas and inventions. Magazines are too busy trying to sell you lifestyle. Jennifer says, I had to go to Dublin to get the new Ed O'Neill book on Irish transport. Yeah, I know Ed O'Neill, actually. Let me do something here. I'm going to try and put a link to something that might be of interest to people who are interested in transport in Ireland. It's a Shopify shop. And whoever's running it is selling some interesting stuff. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, radio user is gone. I was wondering where that was. Let me see. What's this? Pick up the nice phone now. Is that a sodium bulb above my head? No, indeed it isn't. It's a dark light light, and it has a little 2-watt LED in it. A dark room light, what would I say. And this one here is just a little 15-watt pygmy. Don't mind me, I'm just doing something here, but Do. We have 39 watching with 40 thumbs up, so we've broken that. Strange question. No, we read that. Yeah. The ads were great in the old magazines, and I have a big bundle of them that I bring into work to read on me break. They're very good. Radio users now incorporated into practical wireless. Ah, I see. Ah, you see, I have changed it. You see, people are very observant about what's hanging up in here. Is there a new bulb every week? There isn't, but there could be. We could make it a feature. Vertical height seems to have stabilised, alright. Bulb of the stream, yes. Bretsky is away. Thank you for tuning in, Bretsky. It was a pleasure to have you here, sir. Peter Paul asks, can we have a tour? Not this evening, but because the camera can't move for a start. But perhaps in the future we'll do another tour video. We have done a couple in the past. So, anyway. Tonight we have an Osram 60 watts. What do you think I am? 60 watts. I'll show you a 60 watt bulb, but it won't be lighting. Do. Have a look at that. It's a Shopify shop. And if you do buy anything on it, put Odge in the address line or whatever. Some interesting stuff on it. For anyone that's interested in that kind of thing. Now, I do apologise. I'm very slow at that kind of stuff. That's why I usually leave it up to Roundy. I'm brutal with computers, really. The vertical height seems to have stabilised. Yeah, it's resistors, I would imagine. Will you get into it? Need one of the discount shop LED rotating disco ball lights. Oh, jeez, that's not going to happen again. We're hopefully doing a doctor surgery soon. New lights. I have an eye on a row of coloured bulbs in baton holders that used to be the old panic alarm system. Oh, that sounds good, yeah? Get your hands on that. Bretsky, the lady at the local Screwfix trade counter wouldn't name the lamps I bought because she said the Sparkies were too fussy about what they were called. What? Dozens of leaflets and that little electrical stuff in the 70s. He took it all home. Good man, Chipmunk. Hey, I stopped buying it now. All software-driven nonsense. Yeah, I agree. Not into any of that myself. The WhatsApp group is fire tonight, JJ. Oh, really? The WhatsApp group, my WhatsApp group, or Jesus, Someone is going mad at WhatsApp me, alright? Or am I getting emails, or what am I getting? Work. I should put that on silent, actually. Get rid of that going off. I usually have it on silent. I was expecting someone to contact me about something, but they're not going to be doing it now at 10 o'clock. And by the way, I did sell the fencing in the end. This Heineken glass puts a lovely head on, keeps a lovely head on the lager. Good sandblasting in the bottom of it. Bretsky's away to bed. Good evening, Bretsky. Thank you for calling in. I said that already. Hold on, where am I in this live chat at all? Needs more super chats to run 60 watts. Or a solar panel, maybe. Screw fucking lamps versus... Oh, lamps versus bulbs. Oh, I see. My phone is hopping. No, there isn't a WhatsApp group. Not that I'm aware of. Mooney might have a secret fan club in the background that I don't know about. What's a TV tube that you can use as a low-level table lamp? What's the TV tube you can use as a low-level table lamp? I don't know. I'll leave that to someone else to answer. Maybe they'll know. Rome Adam was just thinking about fencing. There you go. White sapphires on the Thatcher cider. Lovely. Tommy Hanna makes an inquiry as to what I am drinking. I am consuming Tennent's, Glasgow's, in fact Scotland's favourite lager since 1885. I have a few Magnar cider glasses here that were given away by the pub we worked at. They don't have the proper fizzy thing at the bottom, so the landlord wanted red. Ah, very good. I do, but I am sworn to secrecy. Oh, flat screen TV without the LCD glass there. Perhaps that's what it is. Hey, the honours after banging in €1.49 to the cause. Thank you very much, sir. And a picture of a little dog. I like that. Thank you. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. I'm going to go away for a minute. But as Roundy said, and I think he's right, we do need some sort of entertainment on the radio while I'm gone. Now, what will that be in the shape of, I wonder? I'm getting out the Texan PL 330. You see if we can find some Chinese music for you all. I don't think there's much chance of getting on medium wave that's sitting on top of this box. We're listening to now. I have returned. No cowbells. There was cowbells, you just didn't hear them. Anything on 15, 625. By the way, we are on 625 lines. George Christophe is here. Good evening, George. Click, click, click. One string Hendrix. Ian Deacon's here too. Good evening. Who else have we got here? Is there anything on 60, 15, 625? Let's have a look. Doesn't pick it up. Time for more Thatcher's Blood Orange Stylish. Yeah, you see, that's the trick is. We try a different test card. Where is my remote control? See, test cards, cooler. There we go. Something wrong, yes, but bloody handy. It's just gone 7 minutes past 10 o'clock. 36 watching with 45 thumbs up. Would you believe that? 46. Amazing. Shall underscore wants to know, should he key up on 15625? Oh. If you want to key up somewhere underscore and we can see if we can hear your carrier, feel free. We're only on the PL330, although I'll have you now. This is an excellent little receiver. We'll let the ETM function scan for a few stations on shortwave. Let's see what we can hear. Still can't beat Clive's Glasgow champagne. Carbonated white wine. Oh, there. Perry. Yeah, that's right. Pear cider. Nonsense. Bit late for underscore to be keying that. Nope. Fair enough. Josh the stuff he says I won't hear his carrier. Oh dear. White wine put through a soda stream. Yeah, I know he's fond of the old soda stream, alright. I think he's done it to all sorts of stuff, hasn't he? Would be cool to hear him though. It would be cool to hear him, Roundy. That's quite right. Well, if you haven't got any antennas connected, it will be difficult. It will be difficult to hear you. Neighbours TV wiping out the bands again. Oh dear, you must live next door to Roundy Mooney. This is still going. How many stations have I found so far? 45. 44 channels saved. Let's have a whiz through. The amateur German radio station on 3975 is there. We can hear him. That's very good. That is a shortwave commercial broadcast station that is run entirely by volunteers. And they rent out time slots. So you could record a program and they'll play it for a nominal fee. There's one string Hendrix again. One stringing Hendrix again on 9410. And that's it. Nothing too interesting on shortwave tonight. Why did I add another red light to my ceiling? Inquires Tommy Hannah. Why not, Tommy? Why not? For change the CO2 for nitrous oxide, or there's enough people doing that. They're going around blasting the heads off themselves here with that nitrous oxide stuff. Terrible. Soda streams, yeah. They wear it everywhere, alright. Yes, we'll put up the underscore test cards. By the way, was anyone interested in that link I put up to the Irish Transport Accessory Shop? Interesting. Compared to other drugs, it's harmless. I think they'll be adding more stuff as time goes on. Yeah, underscore, love that. It'd look well over there, wouldn't it? Put that in the door and they call the police. There's various nice Odge Nodge test cards there. I especially like the Christmas one. I think we'll dig that out and use it at Christmas. Yeah, some nice ones there, alright. Underscore is very handy with that kind of stuff. Oh, this is only here to scare people who are afraid of Arabic. One of our neighbours moved out today. Not my fault. We believe you, George. We believe you. Yeah, having bad neighbours is terrible. Going through your old content, George. It's top level stuff. Hope you are well on the road to getting the place sorted. Thank you for the hours of entertainment, by the way. Very good, Roundy. Indeed. Second it. He put us in touch with the local Polish ciggy supplier. Good stuff. Indeed. Ozone, yeah. Burn all the air out of it. It would clear the smell in 1 to 2 hours, really. Good evening, Rob. The fire update. Tomorrow they come to take everything out of the workshop and clear it completely so they can install new windows and restore the decoration to pre-fire condition. Wonderful news, George. That's great news. Get you back on the road again. We still don't know what the cause was. Unreal. A set of speakers with plasma tweeters would sort that then. Look out for some ionovac or ionophane tweeters and you'll be fine. Ozone-tastic. Yeah, could have been a lot worse, alright. Dennis, the worst bit of the ozonator thing we had, it was the housekeepers had already tried to shampoo the carpet, as he always had, damp and ozone, gross smelling for some reason. Oh. Interesting. It's 25 past 10 for anyone watching on black and white. The old GEC is working well anyway, considering that we haven't done anything to it yet, only turn it on. Changed the fuse in it, of course. I do wonder what made the fuse blow, but I have a feeling now thinking that the chap I bought it off, he might have plugged it in to see what had happened. On the large inrush, of course, as the main smoother caps tried to reform very quickly, probably blew the fuse, and then when I ran it up slowly on the Verdiac, didn't have the same issue. HT sitting at around 250 there. Still giving off that vintage TV smell of trust. It is, but not quite as strong as it was. Obviously, it's dried out now. But yeah, there's a nice little whiff off her, alright. Yeah, lovely set. I've become a fan of these GECs, I must admit. They are quite good. Incredible. Definitely a keeper anyway. We will not be breaking this one for the lot. Not a hope. Odds dodge, it might be a power surge. Also could blow the fuse. Could, indeed, yes. We'll never know. We'll never know now, but it has ran for... We're on 2 hours now. 2 hours and 10 minutes, the live stream is up, and the magic smoke hasn't appeared yet. Ozone is something you don't want in a vintage TV. I agree, Michael. We've smelt it too often. Tommy Hannon says he looked inside an ozone generator. It looked like it had been at the bottom of the Liffey for years. Every metal part was eaten by corrosion. O3 is not good to be around long, yeah. GC made some nice stuff. Their metal cone speakers were quite odd, but interesting. I am on an overhead supply, George. Pictures shrinking steadily, though. Probably is. We'll have to go through it and do all the bits and pieces. To be fair, I probably should not be running it in this condition, but I think it's alright. Picture hasn't come in that quick that I'm concerned about the overwind anyway. That usually happens within the first 20 minutes. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's the weight of the Evo on top. Right, more likely to get the odd spike then. Oh yeah, quite possible, but it didn't happen here. The fuse was blown when I got it. Tell you what, that TV wine was really loud in that video. It really did hurt my ears. Michael is off on his Avo rant once again, Kev B, indeed. He hates Avos. Anyone here remember the article in the television magazine about the donating TV, Hospital War TV, with the massive EHD fault that actually etched the glass on the tube? Oh, fake it. It was, Jerry. We have tapes for the lads to check them. Actually, all the ones in my area are gone now, changed out, but are still hundreds in Cork and thousands in Dublin. The loudest TV I have for line whistle is a Pi CTM 17, and it's an all singing, all dancing TV from 1958, 17-inch or 19-inch, 17-inch. Line flywheel sync and extra RF and IF stages in it and all sorts of jizz and stuff. Some sort of you can alter the frequency response in the IF for fringe reception, all this kind of stuff. But the line whistle off it is incredible. It's really, really loud, unbelievable, to the point where I won't use it. It's just that you can't actually sit down and watch it. It's too loud. There's no fault with the television. Obviously, it's working perfect, but just the line output transformer does squeals like a pig. And we've tried several things, and nothing works. And apparently, that's just the way they were. I've spoken to a few people about it, and they just say that's the way it was, and there's nothing that can be done. We tried shutting it up with rubber bands wrapped around it and all this kind of stuff, but it was absolute waste of time. Put the fecker in epoxy. I see. I don't want to do that because if anything happens to the line output transformer, I'm going to be fecked. I don't think it'd shut it up anyway. Best ones though are the Morphys with the line output transformer in a tin of oil, and they're very quiet. That V310, or V330, which you must bring in again for another little run. That's a wonderful television, which I got off Trevor up in Scotland. I must contact and see how he's keeping. Yeah, indeed. The subharmonics are still audible. You see there, yeah. Just repaired my favourite handheld. The ribbon cable kept sliding out. I might end up using hot snot on it. Yeah, why not? Great stuff. Of hot snot going here. I thought they are very handy. Yeah. Gone bad so many times. I can fix it in 15 minutes. We have 34 people watching with 47 likes. Interesting. Don't use hot snot with glitter in. No. Sounds like you're speaking from experience, Michael, or George. What? Oh, I doubt that very much. We shall stick that message in now, Paint. Thank you, Roundy. Murphy, were they a rebound? No, this was Murphy themselves. So I'm going back to the 50s here. Murphy was taken over by Rank, which was Bush in 64, 63, 64, something like that. So there was no more Murphy televisions after then. They were just rebadged Bushes. Rank. Yeah, well, that's what happened. Bush, isn't it? Once the man with the gong got in, it all went downhill. Bush stuff was excellent. You know, Bush from the 50s or whatever. It was wonderfully made stuff. Simple, easy to service, and reliable. Couldn't be said that Murphy stuff was simple. You could never accuse anything that Murphy made of being simple, but very reliable too, and worked very well. Oversized dinner gong. Indeed, you knew you were getting dinner there anyway. Well, just like glitter nail varnish and high voltage circuit boards. Yeah, probably not the best idea. Do you do anything with the amateur radio side of things now, George? Or perhaps your gear got burned in the fire as well, I don't know. But there's a Powell, actually, in its own right. How many people here in amateur radio? It's a simple one. RBM then linked up with Toshiba, and then things started to become reliable again. That's right. Argos own the name Bush now. Produced some quality pre-war stuff, indeed they did. What is it? The big, huge, the A27 or something? Is it the Murphy? The variable IF passband and all this kind of stuff on it. I think it's got 24 valves in it or something ridiculous. I don't think it's 24, but it has a lot. It's a very complicated radio receiver. Yeah, that's all gone. All gone. You know, it's interesting, those really fancy Murphy radios and all, and what they get. And then you look at the likes of the round echoes, which go for ridiculous money. And I mean, they're a short super hertz, most of those, and they're not great. Wonder, wouldn't you? Let me have a look here at the live chat. It's now just gone 25 to 11. Had a brand new TV from Rank for Nance TV. Took 4 minutes to warm up. Oh, All transistor set late 70s, 4 minutes to come on. That's not great, is it? Crowded tube pin for the heater. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Mr. Maskline, there's a name. That's a proper name, isn't it? Yeah, it's all too familiar now, isn't it, Chipmunk? Names being sold. You don't know what you're buying now. Look at Grundig in Poundland and all this kind of stuff. It's sad, really, when you think about it. George passed the RIA in 85. 40 years with a call sign, yep. Echoes are like the Type 2 Volkswagen van, subject to the call. Yeah. Nonsense. Radio Restorations by Colin is here. I don't know if I've seen you earlier on the chat, so good evening. Pass my M3 in 02 and my 2 EO in 14. Good man, Mick. I have a license, just not being active, says George. Yeah, I'm much the same. I have a license too. I have not been active either. Joseph Malloy is EI3JB. Good evening, Joseph. Good to have you aboard and in the chat, sir. My call sign is 8HMB. But a very rare that I'm on. Don't really bother, to be quite honest. The poll is going to end. Are you active? 24 votes. Are you active on amateur radio? 25% said yes. 75% said no. So there's a few here that are on the amateur radio. We have 32 people watching with 50 thumbs up. Interesting. Oh yes, Roundy told me this before. He passed the exam and never took out. The lad who tested me was meant to follow up as I wanted to add the CW, but I'll email the IRTS, I think. Indeed. Driver Film Shortwave did the test last year but failed, or the full test, so you might have another go. I think you're limited to 10 watts on all bands now, is that it, or something like that? What's a G1, now a G0? Yeah, I don't really understand the English call signs. It's a bit confusing, you know, because you've got M0s and then you've got 2 EOs and I don't know, yeah, confusing. I learned how to pass the RIA with books that reference valves more than transistors and suggested transistors would be the future. But then, when they became cheaper than valves, passed 100% but wasn't allowed to sit the exam without paying for and attending the full course. Oh. Interesting, Dennis. Foundation get 10 watts, M3, M6 and M7 calls. Ah. Has anyone heard of the Scott Quaranta? The most outrageous American concept. 48 valves and cost $5,000 in 1936. It weighed 280 kilos. That's some machine. You've got G's, M's, 2 EOs. I don't know what they're at in GB. Yeah, neither do I. It's very system. Mad. can you pass radio license online? I think they do the online exams in the UK now, but they don't do online exams here. You have to sit them in person, either in Dublin or Cork. Yeah, the system is a bit different here. So what you do here is you go to your local amateur radio club. They run classes, and then you do the exam. The exam is in 2 parts, and I think both papers are 40 tick the box questions, multiple choice, and I think you have to get at least 60% on both papers to pass. Nothing wrong with multiple guess exams now. Well, I passed it anyway. The wife actually did the exam with me too, but she failed. But she lost interest. We went to, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but we went to our radio club to do the lessons. And your man was an obnoxious fucking prick. And he put her right off the whole thing, to be quite honest. Which was a shame, because it could have been quite interesting had she got the license and that, would have been handy. When you're experimenting with stuff, you would have her on the radio here and you could be mobile or whatever. But yeah, he put her completely off the whole idea of amateur radio. It was really sickening now when I look back on the whole thing. Arsehole. But however, you live and you learn. Chipmunk, yeah, I think there might have been a bit of that about it, alright, yeah. It was a very strange man. And the only reason that he was teaching the class is because they didn't want him in the actual club. That's the impression I got, that he was pushed into the corner with us arseholes. So there was three of us that stuck the class. One chap came to the first few classes, didn't last. Another chap came into a couple of classes, he didn't last either. And then there was 2 lads that come in one night who were into CB radio and stuff like that. And he just made them look like arseholes, and they just left. One of them asked, like, how does an amplifier work or something, and he was just really obnoxious. And yeah, it was such a shame, because it would have been great had she got the license too. I probably would have given me more interest in it as well. I kind of lost. I got that pissed off though. Like, I got the license and all that, but it does put me off the whole thing. So that was that. Strange hobby. Amateur radio. I'm not knocking anyone here that's into amateur radio, by the way. And as I say, I'm licensed myself. And I do go on from time to time. But there is a lot of strange arseholes in it. Roundy Mooney's wife did it with him too, and she failed as well. Oh dear. Driver Film Shortwave is away to the bed. 7 trees. 7 trees. 70 trees. Yeah, good night, sir. There are a lot of clubs doing the hobby no good with a stuck-up, narrow-minded attitude. My club has problems, and it will take a lot to clear them up. Well, probably have to wait till they all go in the box. 20 years of clearing it up, I'd say, Dennis. I must say, I've never been one for clubs, groups, or societies as such, although I am involved with one or two. But you're better off doing your own thing. Radio amateurs are generally strange people. I have been to too many rallies to say different. Indeed, George. And yeah, just going people spotting at these rallies in itself can be a very interesting experience. Mostly from them snuffing it. A few of us are trying to coach people to the right attitude. The worst ones are XCBers that forgot their roots. Indeed. Mrs. Odge, you are not alone. As underscore says, full of weirdos. I'm not involved with any club or shite like that. Indeed, the old will go out and the new will bring better attitude and hopefully a lot of improvements. Indeed, Dennis. I try not to put people down, but being on the autism spectrum, it's very easy to become like that. When something is obvious to you and not to some other person. Indeed, Chipmunk. When I was at Maplin, a few hams used to come in. I'd always try and hide. Good one, Kev. And as underscore says, Ray has 100% there too. I've met a few of those XCB types who just turn completely the other way. Very strange. Radio Restaurants will be good night, Charlie. DFS. Chipmunk says, my colleague is not intellectual. He scrapes through exams, but he is generally very good electrician, but he is shy at explaining regs to customers. I think the distortion on that set has got a little worse, but not by much. Oh, yeah, it has, yeah. I'm looking at that. I do see the old frame is twisting a bit on it and what have you. We'll have to go through it. Yeah. But the point is, it's worth doing. It hasn't blown up in the last 2 hours. So 2 hours and 35 minutes the TV is on now and working away. So we'll stick with it. Joe says, I got the license so I could test the gear I repaired. I have never contested. Oh, contesting. Yeah. No time for contesters. There used to be a very active Usenet group, UKRA. The snobbishness, I have to say, it was unbelievable, yeah. I still hold CB radio as well as the ham side. Some like pricks on ham, little Hitlers. But the CB still has some great people on, still around Liverpool. Good. I'm an XC says, George, and it's just not on that. This modern never get lot never did Morse code like us all gets more. Yeah. Rob says he thinks that Ireland they should do online exams here, and maybe it is something that they should look at. I have a nephew like that, Chipmunk, can barely spell his name, but give him an engine, yeah. It's slowly running out of gas, but it deserves help. It doesn't date, yeah. Nah, he'd be alright. 59 bollocks and lines. Yeah, 5 and 9, and they can't even hear one another. You're 5 and 9. Can you repeat your call again, please? I noticed some of that behaviour on forums where new entrants to the hobby are treated with barely concealed contempt by some of the old stagers. Go on, name whatever forum you're discussing. Name and shame. That picture is wonky now. Dennis, give it a chance, will you? If someone dug you out of bed after 50 years, you'll be a bit wonky too. I listen to CB. I need to buy a transceiver. Why contest? Isn't the whole point to be into radio, not competing to see who can make as many... Exactly, Chipmunk. I never understood the contesting thing. And that's something else that puts me right off now. Really does. And I must say, I've had some wonderful conversations. During COVID, especially when everyone sort of dug out their 2 meter rigs again and all. 2 meter was hopping here during COVID. And I had some really interesting conversations with people. Went on for hours, so it was great. Of course, that vanished again, you know, and 2 meters is more or less dead once more. But, you know, that's what it is for me. It's about, you know, talking to someone on the radio, and if, you know, if they're sound and they're interesting, you can have a good conversation with someone that you wouldn't meet anywhere else. And it was great for that kind of stuff. I mean, remember one day I had two QSOs. One with a chap who went on to tell me that he was into aviation in a big way, and that he had gone on a few of the air tours over to North Korea. And we had a great conversation about that. Then when he went off, I got chatting to another chap who was a cardiac surgeon from Mayo, who was after moving up to Dublin for 18 months. And he was telling me about this house he was renting in Drumcondra and the aerials he was putting up and stuff. And, you know, you never get to interact with these heads anywhere else. So very interesting that way. But 5-9, how are you doing? Goodbye. No, thanks. The FTA. George is a big fan of FTA. It's not something we ever got involved with. Yeah. A conveyor belt of call signs, indeed. Go on, Ray. Tell me, Michael, would you go on the CB again? You must stick up an aerial there in the workshop. You're in a very high location there. I'd say you do quite well where you are. Joe Malloy says, I have met several guys who are into ham radio who definitely on some spectrum or another. Not HF either. If you had a Roger Beep, you were cool, Michael. Yeah. I think he's talking about the weirdo spectrum, not the autism spectrum. I don't do FTA or any of this newfangled stuff. Just voice. Can't be bothered with the old-fashioned bleepy nonsense either. Had one and it snapped in the wind. 18-foot half wave. I don't do FT8. I don't even just. Oh yeah, no, I read that. You reading the manual can't help at times. Nick Price says antenna only, no FT8 or internet linking. It's not real radio. Indeed, the internet business I'm not into either now. Dave Rhodes is here. You mentioned that 2 Meter is nearly dead. Used to be a popular band in the 80s, but then so did. Yeah, well, the problem with 2 Meters was, yeah, well, phones killed 2 Meters. We were only talking about that the other day with someone. The amount of people who got licenses just to use 2 Meters as a means of communication, as in, once the mobile phones come out, that was the end of that. I use DRM over RF on my own repeater called a hotspot running Pi-Star. Is this radio? It's certainly a means to allow me to operate. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? An FT2000 and an FT-DX5000. Someone managed to blow them up. Oh dear. How did phones kill 2 Meters? Speak as if I'm not a ham, which I am not. Right, well, I don't know if it was the case in the UK, but in Ireland, and we're only discussing this the other day, that I was talking to one chap who he went for funny enough, the exact same thing as Roundy Mooney. He did the exam, but he never applied for the license. But he was talking, he's from a place called Dundalk, which is just on the border. And he was saying that there was loads of people around him, and the local repeater in Dundalk was simply used as a phone. He said there was a whole family, the mother, father, all the sons and daughters. They all had amateur radio licenses, and they all used 2 Meters. They all had 2 Meter rigs in the cars and what have you. And they would call, and it'd be just simply, how are you picking me up? Good. And can you pick me up from so and so place at such a time, and all this kind of stuff. And they were just using it as a mobile phone, and that was very common. We'll meet you in the pub at such a time, and all this kind of crack. Soon as phones came out, all that stopped. But they were using the repeater systems, just as their own personal mobile phone, basically, system. Toomey was very busy for a while after the 145 LIVE event last September. Yeah. Never lasts long though. It comes and goes and spasms. I could have the rig on all day here in the shack and I wouldn't hear that. Now, to be fair, there's probably 20 other fellas around here who have their rigs on all day and never hear that because nobody pulls the trigger on the mic. Although I do from time to time, I will pick it up and I'll go on the 2 meter column frequency, which is 145 500. And, you know, I'll put out a CQ or two. And I won't get that. Waste my time. But I still do it every now and again. But very rare you get a reply. CQ, I know what my crack. CQDX, oh yes, I don't want to speak to people far away. People that wouldn't know me. Yeah. Right, lads and lassies, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to sign off. It's been an interesting live stream, and I thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank everyone who donated towards the diesel fund. It helps keep the thing going. And we will catch you again next Sunday, all being well. Thank you, Rowney Mooney. The resurrection of this, I don't know if I'm going to video myself changing resistors and stuff. This I'll probably just do it and show the end result. But yeah, we'll get the old GC boxed off, get the legs made for it, and get the knob brights fitted, and it'll be a nice set. So thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all to everyone who subscribes and all that jazz. And thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you again to everyone who donated whatever they could towards the fund. So we have underscore Bro Madam, Dennis, George, Jerry, Ian Deacon, Joe Malloy, Kev B, Michael Tranfield, Norman Donnelly, Radio Restoration by Colin, Rayborn, Roundy Mooney, and the Chipmunk. Special thank you as well to Andy Doswell, the Chipmunk, and Era Honor for their very generous donations towards the live stream. And I want to as well thank Moundy Mooney for all his hard work and moderating. Always does a top job, those hour roundy. So that's it. That's it. Good night and take care, and we will see you in the near future. Good luck.